So continuing with our tenets of Sikhi, we had covered Sikhi Sarup Sambhalna, Gurbani Parni, Samajhini, and living it, Simran or meditation, and earning through honest means. Next to tie with what our special guest and his organization, the Swan Network, is doing. Wandke Chakna, or sharing with others. It's a must that the Sikh shares 1/10 of their earnings and help those in need. It doesn't need to go to Gurdwara or a particular organization. It can go to anyone in need. That sharing, when done without any expectations in return, is also considered a seva or selfless service. Seva, when done selflessly, makes us humble, grateful, and kind, leading us back home to Vaiguruji. Gurbani is telling us that Seva karat hoye neh kami, tisko hot parapat swami. On that note, let's welcome dear Sardar Mandeep Singh, the Executive Director of the Swan Network, to come and share about the amazing things this organization is doing. At the end of his presentation, he will be available for questions. We appreciate his staying up late for the Sangat, so over to Mandeep. Vaiguruji ka Khalsa, Vaiguruji ki Fateh.
Thanks to donors like you, Sikh activists have been able to fight many legal cases defending and safeguarding religious freedom, provide financial assistance to 110 suicide-affected families of farmers, feed more than 10,000 people from all backgrounds during a global pandemic, sponsor the education of hundreds of low-income students, and support thousands of underprivileged and disabled folks with safe housing and medical care. The Dasvandh Network is an online crowdsourcing platform where you can discover many causes in a secure, trusted, and easy way. Make a contribution and join the movements that are changing the world. The Dasvandh Network, making giving easier and amplifying the impact of your Dasvandh.
Vaiguruji ka Khalsa, Vaiguruji ki Fateh. My name is Mandeep Singh and I'm the Executive Director of the Swan Network. Thank you so much for taking the time today to learn about us and our organization. I hope you enjoyed our 1-minute quick video that gives a big overview of what we generally do. And I'm grateful to have your ears today to learn more and specifically about our vision, what we've done so far, and where we plan to go. Grateful to be in your Sangat. What is the Swan Network? I know the video got to the gist of this a little bit, but where did we really start and get this idea for the organization that we are today? We started about 11 years ago when our founders felt that the community could increase the amount that they can give. We know that the concept of giving 1/10 of our earnings back into society is ingrained in Sikh values and teachings and lessons. But we felt like there wasn't an easy, reliable way to give to those causes that were led by Sikhs for the Sikh community, but also in the concept of Sarbat Tapala for across the various different causes and communities that might need our help. So on one side, we felt like Sangat could give more and give more this fund, hence our hashtag of inspire giving. But on the other side, we also knew that organizations and sevadars need funds for the incredible work that they're doing. Seva needs financing for any different venture and any different cause that we're doing. And so by creating the Dasvandh Network, our vision was to get people to donate and give their Dasvandh, but also give to causes that they care about, that they're interested in, that are reliable and accountable and transparent. And so that's where we really started 11 years ago, trying to meet the gap that exists for both of these sides of the equation. So what is our vision? Our vision is for all Sikhs to give Dasvandh, but not just to give Dasvandh to anything. It's to give Dasvandh in support of high impact activism that is aligned with Sikh values to address the challenges that we as Sikhs face, but also the broader community face. The key here is that it's not just about giving and giving blindly. It's about giving where we know the impact is going to be strong and the money is going to be used well to go on and to meet this concept of Dasvandh and Seva that our gurus taught us so well. So how do we really do this? You might ask, how do we get people to inspire Dasvandh? How can people give Dasvandh? How do organizations really benefit? What we're really trying to do is we're trying to simplify giving and make it to curated charitable projects. And we're doing that through accountability, transparency, trust. And that happens on our website. So most nonprofits, for their website will raise funds for their singular venture and their vision they're doing. Our website, dvnetwork.org, is really and actually just a tool where people can list their projects, activists can list their projects, and the Sangat can go and donate. Right now, that's our main projects and main product in the way that we do fundraising. But down the line, we're working on different projects where we have the idea of auto Dasvandh, where you can pick up amount and criteria that you want, and we'll automate your giving. Or a donor advised fund that's geared specifically to Sikh-led activists and organizations. That's part of our general vision. But our bread and butter in this moment is really our website, dvnetwork.org. As you watch this, I highly encourage you to go ahead and click around, go on the website, see what's around there. As you can see, you hop in here, you can go and see different groups and projects that are being featured. You can go explore which categories you care about based on what you would like to give to or want to know what's happening. There's also these other tags of what's popular right now, what's getting close to its goal, what are some latest things, what are things that were just funded. On our website, you can go ahead and explore, as a donor, you can go ahead and explore whatever causes that resonate with you based on different criteria and go ahead and donate to them. As an activist, whether you're in this example, Nanak Nam or Sikh Coalition or Khalsa Aid or a number of partners that we have, if you're not on our website, you can also go ahead and join our website as an organization and start your projects there as well. So that's what Dasvandh Network is. dvnetwork.org is where we do our fundraising and help inspire giving and get folks to have more funds for their work. What we want to do is that we do have some baselines, as I mentioned. It's not just about giving, it's about giving to high impact activism. And so right now, the way I think about it is that we're nonprofit to nonprofit. To fundraise on our website, you must have nonprofit status or must be physically sponsored by one so that for your effort. So again, it's not like GoFundMe, it's not like those other Kickstarter or other website where anybody can go and fundraise. There is a vetting process where we have to see what your nonprofit status is. Are you aligned with the Sikh values of seva and hard work and accountability and transparency? You have to be willing to submit this app and go through an approval process. But the way I also describe us is that we, as the Swan Network, don't necessarily only focus on one issue. We're issue agnostic. You can go, if you want to give to social justice, you're doing education, you're doing humanitarian aid, you're doing youth development, you're doing technology, you're doing innovation. As long as it's work for the community and it's helping create a positive impact, we're agnostic of that. We want you to join our website. We want donors to give based on where they really feel like they want to go. We also like to make sure that there isn't redundancy or these groups meeting a need that isn't already being met. Would the community be excited to give to them? We do have this very center focus around the community and what the community says and wants to give to. And so that's at the forefront of what we're often doing. This is a very funny picture. It's actually of me. I know some people say when they see this picture that they can't recognize me. As many of us can attest to, we changed in many different shapes over time. A little bit introduction specifically to myself is I joined the Swan Network to work on this mission that we're talking about so far 2 years ago. Although we started 11 years ago, I've only been involved the last 2 years as a full-time staff. I was hired as the executive director. I was originally from New York City, born and raised, did a bunch of different seva in New York City. Then I moved to California as part of work. I was working in business and technology as part of Silicon Valley. And recently I moved back to New York to be closer to family, but also work on Dasvandh full-time as my job. I love hiking, climbing, dancing. I love, being tied with Sangat and doing seva like a lot of us do. I'm excited to be back in New York where my roots are, to continue obviously working on this national vision of this one, but also getting involved locally. So 2 years ago, I was hired as a full-time staff. Since then, we've made one additional staff hire. And so we're a full-time team of 2. Mahadi Sirit is our marketing manager. Super excited to have her. She joined a couple months ago. She is originally from Bangladesh, lived in the Philippines, and now lives in Virginia. Awesome background and experience working at the State Department, a bunch of other nonprofits as well. We're lucky to have her here at Dasvandh and helping us grow our audience, our Sangat base, but also our group of activists that are on the platform. Where have we been historically, and where are we going? As part of this talk, I wanted to say, here's our vision. Here's what we're doing, where you can go on our website and check it out, whether you're an activist yourself and want to list your project, if you're looking for causes to give on a regular basis. What we've made an investment in the staff and resources because we really believe we've only scratched the surface of this fund. In our platform in 2019, before 2019, we always fundraise about less than $500,000. And we know that given how many Sikhs there are in the US alone and how much Dasvandh potential there is, that's only scratched the surface. So that's why Mahadi and I joined DVN, to help kind of get more Sikhs to get involved and donate and list projects, because we think that there's so much more seva that needs to be done that our community is already doing, but can do. So we're on that right trajectory right now. We, as I mentioned, $500,000, under $500,000 in 2019. My first year, we jumped almost double to about 900K plus in 2020. Last year, we jumped double again, and we raised close to $2 million for Sikh activists and organizations. And so that's an incredible feat, and we're really excited about it. We have renewed energy with our staff. We have energy with a lot of great partners, other Sikh groups that IIGS being one of them. But we also, are working on this idea of accountability and transparency and giving Sangat more updates and more information on what's going on, and holding all of us accountable to Sangat money to make that impact. With that, though we're excited about the growth, and why I'm fired up and excited to be here, and Mahadi's excited to be here, is that we've only scratched the surface of how much giving our community can give. I think that right now, if you go on our website and you explore projects, you'll find more projects that need funding than are funded. The need in the community, as the community grows, is only growing, and there's so much for us to do together. And hence why I'm here full time, leaving Silicon Valley, why Mahadi's here, why our board is so involved and engaged, why we have so many great partners willing to work with us and talk with us and support us, because we really believe that there's so much more money out there that could be used to propagate and move forward all these other funds that we have, all these partners that we have. Where are we going as an organization? Yes, we want to fundraise more and more for the 60+ partners that we have on our website, or other nonprofits, but we want to be more than that. We're the only organization of our kind, from that I know also internationally, that is focused on inspiring Dasvandh within the Sikh community, and working as an ecosystem of partners. This is the biggest network of groups of organizations that I know of within the Sikh community. And I think there's so much value that we have with our ecosystem of donors, but also our activists. And as we grow and increase the amount of giving, we also want to grow as an organization. We want every Sikh to know about DVN, and so they can go and check and think about their giving and find all these awesome sources. We want to be really easy and have multiple products for people to use. We also, not only that, but we want to be thought leaders in the space, being that we're in this unique position. What's happening in the Sikh activism space? What's going on? How can people partner? How can we connect people? And in addition to connecting people, how can we start more activism and incubate new projects and new sevadars in the next generation to continue working to make the world the way that our gurus set out for us to want to build it towards? You're here listening to this talk. We love your help. I appreciate your time again. But there's always, we can't do this alone. We need everybody's help to move and go towards this direction and this vision. So what's the number one thing you can do? If you're already not on our platform, go ahead and join us on our platform. As I mentioned on dvnetwork.org, you can go on our website and it'll bring you here, and you can go ahead and log in on our website and create a user account, and you can even sign in with Gmail. I know that some of you are also on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Follow us, figure out, see what projects we're doing. Maybe it interests you. Maybe you know somebody who could be interested. The number one thing I can ask for is join our family of donors and supporters. Secondly, I would love it if you can help us spread the word. There are so many folks or groups that are not yet on our platform. Let them know this resource exists. Yes, we want people to give, but we also want to help and incubate, the next wave of activism and get the funding that we need. So there's so many nonprofits there. I know there's some in your community. We'd love to have them join us and connect with us. Lastly, what you can specifically do is, I already mentioned it, the need that we have in our community, whether it's humanitarian aid projects or youth development projects, or starting a Khalsa school, or it's the Sikh Coalition, or it's other brands that you know internationally, new ones that you don't. So many people have needs for different projects and impact, because everybody is growing, not only just us. All Sikh activism and nonprofits are growing. There are causes there that I'm sure you'll like and you didn't know about, that you would want to resonate with, that are newer, that are fun, some that you might know about. So please, if you have the capacity and the means, whether it's $10 is the minimum donation to thousands of dollars, whatever you have the capacity for this year, would love for you to poke around in our website and find causes that really speak to you. Lastly, I know you might be some young folks on the call. I love, again, I speak of the young generation. I try to mentor as well personally. I know that really the future is in the youth, and we want to figure out how we can get you involved and help out and build, so that one day you're the executive directors of Dasvandh Network and the hundreds of other nonprofits that we'll have that are Sikh-led. And so what are ways that we can really help in this journey with the youth as well? We'd love for you to intern and volunteer. We offer, in the summer, we have 2 interns this year. Happy to take more next summer as well. We have the capacity for it. If you're looking to volunteer and intern throughout the year as well, you want to do 5 hours a week, a couple hours a week, there's no shortage of seva and work we can do together as a group. The other initiative that we have is called the Swan Box. If you Google it as well, and we can share the link to the deck with everybody as well. But this Swan Box is an initiative and a lesson plan that we have, where for young folks, where we can teach you about what this fund is. And we have these little cute boxes where you can start saving change and dollars, that you can do it at your local Gurdwara Sahib, you can do it at your local school. And the idea around the lesson plan and program is to get youth involved and trying to save and with whatever they have, and get them and instill these concepts within there. So if you're a young person in high school or college, would love to get your help to do this Swan Box locally in your Gurdwaras in your communities. If you're a parent or of these young youth and you want to take a look at it as well, it's a great initiative to get started, to start teaching about giving at a regular cadence very early on. Again, thank you so much. I know there's so much going on in the world and continues to do that. There's so much ways you can spend your time and your energy, but I'm so grateful for IIGS and all our listeners and people tuning in for this opportunity for us to come speak and share a little bit about DVN. Of course, I'm happy to always answer questions. Our entire team gets the info at dvnetwork.org. So if you have any questions about anything that I covered during this call or after the call, please just email us. We'd be more than happy to help. You want to volunteer, you need the link for this Dasvandh Box. You have activists that might be interested in joining. Do not hesitate. Please go ahead and message us. I'm working on this full time. Would love to help out however I can. Thanks again for taking some time to listen to us. I really appreciate it. And you'll hopefully hear from me more shortly. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Dear Mandeep, you're amazing. You did a great job. So proud of you, Achu. So glad you could join us, and glad you're sitting late from New York and joining us. I know it's 11 o'clock, so I won't hold you for too long. But I wanted to give you an opportunity to add anything you missed out.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. The pleasure's all mine and no problem at all. I love all the work that you and IIGS do. The Kirtan tonight was absolutely incredible. So I appreciate being a part of this. I not much to add. I'm happy to answer any questions, but generally everybody got the gist of what we're doing in the Dasvandh Network. Would love everybody's support. Happy to figure out how we can all work together too if there's seva happening in your community. So I'm open for any questions. Happy to fill in any gaps that anybody might have.
Awesome. While people put their thoughts together for any questions, anyone who wants to ask a question, please feel free to unmute yourself or add your question in the chat box. By the way, Mandeep has put his email address, mandeep.singh@dvnetwork.org, if you want to reach out to him directly. And we encourage you to do that. We don't want us to be the middle people for anything. We want you to reach out to them directly. That's why we invite guests here. We want them to build their brand. The Swan Network is doing an amazing job. I mean, a lot of people in the US know them, but they are not that well known outside of this country. And I think it will be great if we can give him our love, support the organization. And we have a relationship with them for last, I think, 4 years, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, definitely. We've been, Darbari Khalsa, we've done some fundraising there in the past with IIGS. Generally, not just for DVN, but IIGS pages are live on Dasvandh Network. So it's another way to support the organization if, in addition to, donating directly the way that you normally might. And so, that's totally there. We also have, I will say one thing I'll add, I didn't cover, is that we have different opportunities and programs throughout the year where we'll match donations to certain groups and depending on what anonymous donors are doing. But the main really big event that we have where we match donors is the Dasvandh Week. That happens in November. It's after Gurpurab, and it's a week period where we want people to give so bad. We'll say, I'd go and fundraise a ton of money. So say any donation you make to any group on our website will be matched. And so, if you're a supporter of IIGS, you might have already done this in the past, but if you give during this one week in November, we'll match your donations as well. And so there's all these other benefits in addition to just collecting money that we do offer groups throughout the year.
Absolutely. And we have taken advantage of that match in the last couple of years, and it has been wonderful. As you know, IIGS gives us scholarships to budding Sikh students. So far, I think we are given over $50,000 in all these years, and you guys have played a little part in it with your help, and so we thank you for that. We really appreciate you joining us. We can chat all day long, but we'll give an opportunity for us to chat. If anybody has any questions, anybody wants to ask a question, stage is all yours.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh, Mandeep. This is Gagandeep Singh, and first of all, I wanted to congratulate you for such a platform. I'm looking forward towards this one, this one box. My son was sitting right beside me, and he was like, "Okay, we'll go to YouTube, Google, and see what it is all about." I had one question. So this is related to, let's say, for example, when we looking for, this is some of my experience. Whenever we're looking for donations locally, like me being from Canada or sometimes in India, right? First thing the donor asks is whether I'm gonna get the tax benefit. How does the platform helps, or whether there is a facility to get that kind of help?
Haji, that's a great question, and thank you, Virji, for bringing it up. I put the Dasvandh Box link in the chat as well, so you don't have to go dig through it. So if you want to grab that and you and your son want to take a look, it's right there. In terms of tax deductibility, as Uncle G said, we are a US-based nonprofit. This is where we're kind of have our main presence. Our second biggest country of donors is Canada and India, and then third is India. In terms of tax deductibility, we can give tax deductible receipts for any projects and organizations on our platform if you are a resident of the United States of America. So if your billing address and where you input in the website, you will get a tax deductible receipt. We yet cannot offer tax deductibility for Canada or India, just because it is a bit of a legal process that takes a couple of years to be recognized as a charity in different nations. That's on our long-term strategy over the next few years. Canada, UK, and India are kind of the main ones we'd like to figure out because we have so much Sangha there. So right now, if you're Canadian, we do collect donations from 13 countries. So if you're Canadian on the call, you can donate. If you're in India, you can donate. America, you can of course donate, and then 10 other countries: Australia, New Zealand, different African and European countries. I cannot give you a tax receipt if you're outside the United States, but you can donate. And over time, we will add more and more countries where we give tax deductibility.
Thank you. Got it.
Thank you for a great question.
And donations shouldn't be restricted to a receipt or donation receipt for a write-off. Dasvandh is not a Sikh's money, it's Guru's money. So that should be given away. But great question, Gagan. Thanks for asking. Any other questions? If anybody has any questions, please unmute yourself. I hope you are able to unmute yourself, or you can put the question in the chat box.
While we get another question, Uncle D, what I can add really quickly is if you're also on this call and you work for a company, that's another amazing way to increase your Dasvandh if you're not aware already. I'll put another link in the chat in a second, where if you work for a major US company or even Canada International, donations can sometimes be doubled by your corporation. So if anything you give on DVN, you can get your employer to match. Sometimes some groups give 2, 3, 5,000. A company, Johnson & Johnson, matches up to 20,000. So if you are working in, in a tech or a business company and you haven't already, please make sure to check whether you give to IIGS directly or Dasvandh or through, or any other groups. It's an easy way to give more back. It takes 5-10 extra minutes of your time to have a big impact as well, in case folks aren't aware of that.
Well, that's a great point. Glad you brought it up. Dell matches about 10K. I think Microsoft does about 6. So yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great point. Thanks for sharing. And thanks for sharing the link as well.
Definitely.
And if we don't have any other questions, then I definitely don't want to hold you back late night. And want to thank you again for joining us and for such a beautiful presentation. And you're such a charm. I want to thank you again for always being available, especially after learning today that you are just a small team and you're still able to get around to everyone in a very timely manner. So shows your sincerity and hard work that you're putting into this organization. And we want to wish you all the very best. And IIGS has your back. Anytime you need any help, we are here for you. Any message you want to give, this is your platform. Please feel free to come back and share whatever you guys are doing. And we'll we'll put up a reminder for the November week when it comes around, and so everybody can take advantage of it.
No, thank you for those kind, Uncle G. Honestly, what I will say, we're thinking about Guru Sahib today, and that's why IIGS is, of course, in this session. And it feels like an immense privilege to, every single day wake up and focus on this work and think about it, and that's Guru Sahib Di Kirpa for me and my life. So very grateful to be here, very grateful to talk. It doesn't feel like work, which is an amazing part of this all, and is Guru's Hukum. So thank you again. And then I know there's IIGS Facebook pages and news lists, and if any other major updates, we'll share to partner and share those with you so you can share it with the rest of the group.
Awesome. And we'll have this video separately on YouTube in a couple of days.
Awesome.
Thanks, Mandeep.
Guru